right, let's dive into something that's going to be a little bit quicker of a video, hopefully, than some of my other trainings. This is just going to be on carbonated drinks, okay? What are carbonated drinks? Why can they be used to your benefit on your health and wellness journey, especially in the beginning, right, when you're making a ton of changes? Most of the time, when someone wants fat loss, they want weight loss, they have a lot of habits that have been pretty common for them to get there. Oftentimes it's overindulgence in food, in liquids, in spices, in volume of food, in types of food, in volume of less beneficial types of food. And so it's extremely important for us to understand potentially where we might be able to make just a subtle substitute or a subtle shift to have the same feeling with dopamine that we had previously from our alcohol, from our soda, from what have you, without all of the downstream negative effects that those things can do for our recovery, for our fat loss journey, and what have you. So overall, when I'm talking about carbonated drinks, right, I'm more specifically talking about sparkling water. So, you know, this is not, hey, this is not a video about soda. This is not a video about diet soda or zero soda, although I think that those are not the worst options in the world. I think that going sparkling water, much better option. And so you might be asking like, okay, well what? Well, this could be sparkling ice, this could be Celsius, this could be, you know, your LaCroix. This could also be Liquid Death, right? Death to all plastic. It could be those cans. Although those have some added sugar and some of this stuff has some artificial sweeteners and what have you. We're not going to go crazy with it, right? I'm trying to get you something that's not fear-monger induced over here. That can be a shift for your alcohol and your sodas as we commonly utilize them today. Because most of the time, right, when people are looking for fat loss, they're losing, right, on the journey, at least when they start, from liquids, sauces, and high fat and high sugar food and drink. So it's less sometimes about what they need to add and more about what they need to control, right? When people use hot sauce or something, they throw on, you know, 18 tablespoons when the serving size, it's 80 calories, is 1 tablespoon. That's a hell of a lot of what I would like to call ghost calories. You can call them whatever you want, but just things that we don't necessarily realize that we're doing until it's kind of too late. We can only really see retrospectively. And then liquids. And so we're talking about this really not carbonated drinks, more so sparkling water. I think it's a great shift. And, you know, an anecdote from a client that's recent, right? She's got a 6-year-old, right? She stopped working out 6 years ago. So before she got pregnant, 9 months before she had the baby, she really stopped working out. Previously, before that, you know, she wasn't a really heavy lifter. She did Pilates, she did yoga, she did some spin class, she did, you know, maybe some Orange Theory type vibes, right? So some circuit training, low weight, high reps, and getting her heart rate up a good bit, and then walked all over the place. From the time that she had her kiddo to now, 6 years, she is in a position where she's drinking a lot of alcohol socially, right? She's having more high fat, high carb, and high carb from the sugar foods. She's having more processed stuff, more convenient stuff. And we had a conversation literally today in our session about how she was struggling with the alcohol. She was struggling with the soda. She was struggling with drinking in and around people because it's a social scenario, right? And I recommended that she jump down to some sort of carbonated beverage, right? If you can't go all the way down to sparkling water, maybe you start with something like a diet soda, or, you know, something that is a zero sugar alternative. Now, is that the best thing in the world to jump down to? No. Is that going to kill you? Is one of those going to kill you in a setting where you would have drinking a ton of alcohol and eaten a ton of crap food? No, I think that it's better to slide there, but I think that the easiest shift overall is if you want to rip that stuff out pretty consistently, just take it in and change out for sparkling water. Last night also went to a Jimmy Buffett cover band over in Tucker, Georgia, right? I'm in Atlanta. And rest in power, Jimmy Buffett. He literally died last night. Kind of ironic that we went to a cover band. But nonetheless, last night what I had was Liquid Death, right? Like a 16-ounce Liquid Death, which is literally, it's death to all, it's a crazy marketing. It's death to all plastic. It's a carbonated water that has like a few grams of added sugar, right? So it's sweetened, all good, right? I'll take 20 calories in a drink all day. Don't play with me. But I had it and it was flavored sparkling water. And instead of drinking, 8, 9, 10, 12 beers, like a lot of other people did, even someone that just drank like sangria or 2 or 3 beers, I instead just sipped on this. And I sipped on this from literally like 7 p.m., right? All the way down to 9 when we left, right? So 2 hours, while people were rolling through beers in and out of coolers, having $300-$400 calories per beer, right? Not really paying attention. And look, you're a grown-ass adult. Like if you're over 21, drink as much as you want. But I'm just saying, if you're having trouble with the weight loss and, you seem to go, hey, 4 out of my 7 days are solid, I don't drink, but then on the weekends, I binge, or I'm, it's football season. Today, Georgia plays at 6 p.m. And so, goodness, I mean, there's a lot of ways that it can be difficult. And being in social scenarios, and I've said this before, but being in social scenarios doesn't mean that you have to be drinking alcohol. And in fact, if you wanted to set up your cup or your drink to look very similarly, right, to what's going on, but just have it be sparkling water or soda water, right? At the bar, soda water with a lime, right? You can get in scenarios where you shift these out. At home, it's pretty easy, right? You have the same mouthfeel, the same bubbly, the same like, ooh, this is flavorful at home, and you can just drink it right out of the bottles, the cans, or whatever. But when you're out, you can just get soda water and some lime, right? Soda water and some grapefruit, soda water and a cherry in there, soda water and something else. Now, got to be careful with the purees and dumping all that in there because that's straight just fructose corn syrup, high fructose corn syrup, and added sugar and a bunch of crap. So like, I would be careful about that at a bar. Most of the things that are coming out of the different soda gun is it's all based on boxes, right? It's usually not hooked up to a line that's hooked up to anything else. It's hooked up to boxes of just syrup. So keep that in mind. But all in all, the sparkling water can give you a reprieve from drinking the soda, from drinking the alcohol, from drinking in these scenarios where there's a lot of pressure. And it can allow you to feel like you're still part of the club, right? For all of us that have a little bit of problem or a lot of pressure or kind of feel internally conflicted of being in scenarios where people are drinking a lot of alcohol or a lot of soda and we want to be one with our friends. Like, I totally get that. I've been there, right? I've been there with a lot of things. And I think that, if we can utilize, sparkling water, whether it be LaCroix, sparkling ice, whether it be Topo Chico, I think it's Topo Chico or Topo Chino. No idea. Liquid Death, any of this other kind of sparkling water at all. Anything that you can utilize to get a similar mouthfeel, some carbonation. Yes, you're going to have some gas. Okay, that's going to happen, right? If you drink a bunch of carbonated beverages, you're going to have a little bit more gas, whether that be, burping or out the other side. But keeping in mind that is an option and is honestly relatively cheap. I mean, usually a carbonated beverage that's just water, like a flavored water carbonated beverage, I mean, you're looking at like $1 to $4 max. Right, when like a regular beer is $8 or $9 when you're out and about and doing whatever. Unless you're drinking Michelob or Bud Light, that's a different story. Super light, whatever. But I think that all in all, if we could just make a shift, especially if you're on the front end of your journey and you're still around a ton of people that are pressuring you, they're almost making fun of you for wanting to improve, for wanting to, just live a little, just eat the cake, just eat the appetizer, just eat the dessert. It's one time, just drink the drinks. The fact of the matter is that like it's extremely hard to moderate until you pull it out, right? And so with most people that work with me, I recommend that you remove before you moderate. Like you completely yank something out of your diet, out of your day-to-day before you try to moderate the volume at which you consume it. Because if you've gone 6 years or 5 years or 10 years engaging in behaviors where you had this stuff in high volumes, whether it be sauces, seasonings, fast food, etc., and you're trying to make a change, it's very hard, very, very, very hard, because of the dopamine we assign to the food and how it tastes and how we feel immediately after biting into it or drinking it. It's very hard to moderate it. So I would recommend that you just put yourself in the best position, right? If that is you and you want to change that, put yourself in the best position and find some sparkling water. I think it's less about the carbonation, but if sparkling water is like, oh, that's too boring for me, James, that's too boring for me, start with some Coke Zero, right? or some Diet Coke, right? At the end of the day, it would be better if you could jump all the way down to just regular water. But look, this video is for people that are struggling to do this and struggling to do it in multiple social settings. So, you know, outside of just picking a sparkling water or a soda water or what have you that you can use, you can also rock some mocktails, or you can just bring some Mio or something like that has some flavoring, right, into a regular soda water to change it a different color. You can absolutely do that. Something that has 0 sugar in it to rock and roll, so you have the same mouthfeel and it looks like you're drinking. Now, should you be in a position where you're trying to look like you're drinking all the time, even if other people are? No, I think at the end of the day, you should try to pull those two things apart and then do what you want to do because you want to do it. And if that's drink, cool. If that's not drink, cool. And stand firm in what you're saying about that. But I think to start, especially when you're making a change, you're starting to work with a trainer, you're starting to work out on your own, you're starting to meal prep more, you're starting to get more protein, you're making a ton of changes, take one of them off the table and don't worry about decision fatigue. Take one of them and like kind of put it in your back pocket and just come down to something that's carbonated, that has bubbles. So you can look in and be like, wow, they're drinking too. And then people are just none the wiser, you know? You do it for you, right? You do it because you want to decouple social settings and the drinking. And this is an easy way to do it without making a massive ding, 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 look at me, I'm not drinking, right? It's a very much easier way to do it. And I really hope that helps. If it doesn't, I don't know what to tell you. I'm going to keep making these videos and trying to make every single one better than the last. And I hope it does help somebody out there. And yeah, go Dogs. You'll have a great weekend.